Welcome to the Legacy Show. This is lucky number 13 now. So, and this is the bar mitzvah for the show. We've turned 13, and today's theme is how to find love. Who loves love? Yeah. Who's in love with love? There's a bunch of people out there who you could hear like, no. Goddamn fuck no. You know, so if that's the case, even for the people that are here, who actually, hey, look, love is beyond just, J-Swipe and Tinder, believe it or not, New Yorkers. I know that's hard to believe. But how many of you guys here are single tonight? Oh, no, okay, all right. Well, that's why you're single, because that's pretty damn pathetic of a response. Like, if you're going to do it, fucking own it. So let's just try it again. This is step number 1 of recovery. I don't know what you're recovering from, but it's whatever you want it to be. Who in the room is single? Who in the room is in desire of love because they're single? Okay, there's still some people who didn't participate on the second part, so that's interesting. But that's all right, it just means you're not ready yet. Well, who's in love with the idea of actually loving your work? Who loves their work in the room then? How many people wish they loved their work in the room? Wow, 50-50 split. The odds are normally opposite. Normally it's, actually, believe it or not, this is true, Gallup Group poll. 87% of the workforce in America hates their job. That makes sense. Right? So you're looking like, and I'm there. Which percentage are you in? The higher percentage or the lower percentage? You're in the 87 percentile. Okay, congratulations. I mean, and some of the other people. All right, then I'm going to ask the really personal question then. How many people love themselves? Damn. You know, events like this sort of bring that kind of person out, okay? You go to the concert next door, you're going to get a very different kind of response. All right, who out here wishes they loved themselves a little bit more then? All right, at least hey, I appreciate the honesty, and you are sitting at Melanie Curtis's table, which is the right table to sit at, if that's the case, because she's a life coach, so she can help with that. Well, I'm going to tell my portion of the evening in emoticons, because it seems like that's how everyone communicates in relationships today, is over emoticons. Me and my wife, swear to God, I wasn't even planning on talking about this. Me and my wife, every single morning, have a ritual. She sends me a series of emojis. Wait, is it emoticon or is it emoji? What is it? Shows how old I am. Okay? So emojis. So the emoticons, those cartoon thingies that you make of yourself. Anyways. So she sends me a series of emojis. One every single day. It has a ring. It's the wedding bang emoji. And that means she put on her wedding ring, because at night she takes it off, does the blessing over it, I don't know. But she takes it off. And then we also have fish at the house. And whenever she feeds the fish, because that's something that she enjoys doing, she sends me the fish emoticon of that little tropical fish, even though the fish are not tropical in the least, but they don't have a freshwater fish in the thing. And then sometimes she'll send me the echidna, she'll send me the detective, or she'll send me, what else do you send me? The balloon. And that depends on what her mood is. So you can figure out what echidna means. I have no clue, but that's how she communicates. So relationships nowadays speak in emojis. So before we talk about love anymore, the first question is, well, what is love, right? Besides a Hathaway song. What is love? Few people got it. We know who here is between 30 and 35 years old right now. But what is love, right? What is love itself? Anyone, what is love? Oh. Well, this even validates what I'm saying anymore. All right, my relationship table's over here. What is love? Feeling. So Susan says it's a feeling, right? Love is an emotion. Yet, especially people in New York City, we try to make love practical. Roberta's laughing at that one, right? There's nothing pragmatic or practical about love. Yet we try to validate that it is, right? And so let's start that love is an emotion. Let's start with that, right? So then if love is an emotion, ask yourself, think for a second. The person you love most, whether it's a spouse, a rock star, your parents, your child, why do you love them? Right? Think about it for a second. Right? Words have meaning. Because now I'm asking you to take this emotional thing and act practical about it, right? I'm saying, now talk to me about your emotion. The reason it's so hard, you might be able to give some reasons why you think you love the person, but at the end of the day, if you think about it, to tell someone why you love them, or to say why you loved your mother, or why you loved this person, or why you loved this last relationship, even though it doesn't have the same meaning, is because emotions are part of our primal brain. It's part of our limbic system, okay? It's part of literally what some people even call the lizard brain. And so when you are feeling something, your emotions are designed for survival. Oh, this feels good. Let me eat more of it. Oh, this feels bad. Let me get the F out of here, right? That's where fear comes from, right? Fear is an emotion. Am I right, Melanie Curtis? Yeah. Fear is an emotion. And so to talk about love, to talk about why you feel that way, even if it's about your job, it's about a partner, a spouse, someone that you met, it's sometimes hard to quantify for it because words come from the neocortex, which literal translation is the new brain. And that's why as humans, we have words, because we have this extra layer of, I'm generalizing, and I know that if there's any doctors or brain surgeons in the room, but our brains have evolved that we can form words. But here's the motherfucker of the whole thing. The limbic system and the neocortex are not designed to speak to one another. Because if they did speak to one another, you would have control of your involuntary system, and you'd be able to feel heartbroken and commit suicide by stopping your heart and thinking about it. Your breath is the only thing that you have both voluntary and involuntary control of, which is why they say focus on your breath. It's our gateway. But the point is, where our emotions come from, where love comes from, where feelings come from, where desire comes from, is a totally different part of the brain as where words come from and where logic comes from. Instincts come from that deep part. That's how birds know how to fly south, right? And it's why we know how to drive south, because it's nicer there. But the point is, words and emotions aren't supposed to speak to each other. But we try to quantify for it when we talk about love or heartbreak or any of these things, or love of work or love of your children. So let's look at it like this. If that's the case, if the words, as human beings, if the words we say to ourselves give us meaning, and that meaning of life gives us the emotion that we're supposed to feel, that indicates, I'm just going to say the word, the vibe that you send out, the energy that you send out into the world. Right? It's why at lunchtime in a high school, a certain table of kids, the negative Nancys will sit together. It's why the positive Peters will sit together, right? We attract people who think like us, therefore feel like us, and therefore that's the vibration we send out in the world. And if you're unhappy in your job, you have to think, well, what is the meaning that I'm giving this work that's making me feel this way, that's making me hate the job? If you're in a relationship that you're not happy with, what is the meaning that you're giving? And this is, again, speaking general, I know, but think about it. The meaning gives you the emotion gives you the vibration, the energy. I'm not even speaking spiritually here. I'm just speaking purely. Whatever you think is how you're going to feel, and how you feel is what you're going to send out into the world. If you're for New Yorkers in the house, if you're searching for a new apartment, what's the only thing you see in New York City? Apartments. You see the Street Easy advertisements on the subway. You see every single classified. You ask all your friends what their rent is, but the second you get an apartment, 2 weeks later, you don't even think about it anymore. Because what's happened is you're trying to put words behind what your need is, which is at that point survival, housing, anything like that. And then therefore what you put out in the world is, I'm going to bring more of what I'm seeking into my life. So the question that a lot of people ask when I'm doing different things is, well, how do I change this? And I'm going to give you the short answer, and it's the power of the questions you ask yourself. So if nothing else, if you walk away with nothing else at the end of tonight, the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of the questions you ask yourself. I'm going to say it one more time. I just saw someone else in the back room go boom, like that. All right? What's that? I want to hear why you think I'm so right. So hang around at the end of the show. So I'm going to say it one more time. The quality of the questions you ask yourself are in direct proportion to the quality of your life. If your life sucks, if something in your life sucks, look at the questions you're asking yourself. So for those of you who are in the single, there were some very proud single people in the room. What are the questions you're asking yourself? Why am I always single? Or are you saying, how can I love more? Are you asking, why do I always meet the asshole? Or are you saying, how can I be nicer to people? It all depends on the question that you ask yourself. You're laughing about this one for some reason. But the questions you ask yourself are going to indicate what you bring into your life. And this is, again, not speaking spiritual. I'm not speaking law of attraction or the secret. I mean, it's all that stuff. But at the end of the day, your brain is going to focus on what you tell it to. Right? It actually has a name, RAS, right? Marcy, Reticulating Activating System? Reticular Activating System, thank you. Literally, your brain is programmed. The reason you can hear me right now, there's a lot of sounds going on right now. The reason you can hear me is because your brain can learn to filter stuff out. It does the same thing when coming to love, am I right? Right? What you focus on is what you get. So the power of the questions you ask yourself are going to be in direct proportion to whatever's in your life. So, on that note, there's the quote, karma's a bitch, right? So I don't believe it. Karma's not a bitch. Karma's a mirror. Whatever's going on is a reflection on whatever you're putting out. And again, we're doing the short end of the thing. This isn't the 5-hour workshop. And I was really excited today when I opened up my Facebook feed, and today is about love. And one of the guests in the house, Diana Mandel, is not speaking today, but on her Facebook feed, it said, "You date at the level of your self-esteem." Every single yeah. I was like, shit. I was so happy you were coming. I was putting it in no matter what. But when you said you're coming, I'm like, oh, she doesn't even know that I'm putting that in. But I like to think that has to do with everything in your life. Your job, your love, your dog, whatever. But we're going to talk about that today. So, the quality of the love that you're attracting for yourself, whether it's love of yourself, self-love, whether it's love of your work, whether it's love of nature, whatever it is in direct proportion to the quality of the questions you're asking yourself. And you are attracting right now that person in your life. I met my wife, great fit. Amazing fit, but I only met her at a time that I started to love myself, and I could love myself enough to love another person. I would have never met Lauren prior to that.